I'm going to show you our essential trick to train your beat matching skills so that you'll never make a mistake in beat matching again. Well, all of you know that beat matching is a hot issue amongst DJs. Our philosophy on this is that mixing is of course not the most important part of DJing, but you do want to mix your records flawlessly, and there's a big fear among starting DJs that this is where your mistakes are going to be. Now, we have a method that is going to help you train your beat matching skills, and that is going to give you more confidence when mixing so that you're never going to make a mistake anymore. There are a few settings to do this practice that you need to set right on your gear, and I'm going to take you through these settings so that you can actually do this practice at home. First, you're going to need gear, of course. This could be a CDJ device by Pioneer, an XDJ RX, or any controller, as long as you have jog wheels to practice your mixing skills. Then you're going to need music. This is what we discussed in another video, easiest with transparent house music in the lower energy levels. So just regular random beats that are very clear to hear what you're doing. Something like this. Not too messy, very clear and not too heavy. Same sort of beat. And then doing this practice is easiest when you set loops on both sides. So practicing beat matching is best done with 2 loops. Why? Because when music develops and I get to go more instruments with the track, it's harder to hear if the records are actually running sync or not. Then there is an important setting to do this practice with on your CDJ device, and that is to have this device on CDJ and not on vinyl modus. Of course, we can discuss about what is the best way to work with in general, but for this practice goes that CDJ is what we advise when it comes to actually practicing. Also, you're going to do this practice without a headphone. So the practice is as follows. We have a track running on this side, and we're going to make this track run together with this track. 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to hear that there's a very small difference. Will be hard to hear when you're just beginning with DJing, but actually there's a little difference between these tracks, and this is the standard deviation, the standard error that every DJ has. So you can never be perfect with pressing play, or you're lucky in that moment. But usually there's an error which sounds more or less like this. And this means the track is running not very much in sync. I'm gonna synchronize it now. This is better, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna recreate the standard error that so many of the starting DJs have, which will sound like this. I made just one move. This is the standard move that I want you to make at home. It's like 10 minutes on the clock, 10 or 15 minutes. One move on the top of the jog wheel, and you're gonna hear that this track is running in front of that track now. And this is how the usual standard error sounds when you've been a little bit too early with pressing play. What I'm going to do is I'm going to correct this move with just one movement. So you have to stick to just one move to adjust your standard error. But the important thing is not to do this immediately, but let this sound go, let the tracks run with the error, and let your brain get used to how the sound of running in front sounds. Your brain has to recognize the sound of running in front of the other track. And your brain also has to know how it sounds when it's running behind. So you're going to do the opposite. This one is running. I'm going to put this up. And I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to push it behind. Now, let this go for a while. Listen to this for 10 seconds. And let your brain recognize the fact that it's running behind. I'm going to fix this error with, again, just one move. Now the gap is closed. What you want is your body actually to take over. Just with driving a car, you don't want to think about this anymore. You just want to do when your brain recognizes, hey, it's running behind or in front of the other track. And when your body takes over, it gets much easier, but you have to do this 5 minutes a day, every day for 2 weeks. Just 5 minutes, push it in front, let your brain get used to that sound, and push it back 5 minutes a day. And your beat matching skills will become so much better. Don't focus too much on other things, but just do this for 2 weeks. I'm really curious what happens when you're gonna do this practice, again, with 2 transparent house tracks one move in the CDJ modus, and I'm really curious what's going to happen when you practice this. Let us know and we'll stay in touch.